I really set myself on figuring out what that was. And I
Wow.
knew that I wanted to do something that really focused on women and created a true impact in the lives of those women.
Y'all, today's show is so good.
But number one, I've never seen an intro like that.
It is my hope and desire that not only will episode 30 still be fun, but episode 300 will be even more fun. You are made for something great, so go and be awesome.
Ten seconds remaining.
Hello, and welcome to the show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of Renee Speaks. Y'all, today's show is going to be so amazing, and part of that reason is because of our fantastic sponsor, Wilbron. Wilbron is Alabama's premier public relations firm. If y'all have any PR needs, be sure to hit them up at www.wilbron.com. Y'all, today's guest is so phenomenal. Her name is Cathy Derksen, and she is the founder of Inspired Tenacity. She is a disruptor and catalyst dedicated to improving the lives of the women in her community and around the world. Cathy helps women rediscover their brilliance, find their voice, and step into new possibilities. Cathy is an international speaker with 16 #1 best-selling books. She has created a platform for women to share their wisdom and inspiring stories in collaborative books, taking them from chapter to concept to best-selling author in a simple, exciting process. Y'all, put your hands together for Cathy Derksen.
That is a great intro.
It's so great to have you on the show, Cathy.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. This is wonderful.
Absolutely. We're so glad that you're here. I know that there are so many women out here with experiences or testimonies or just things that they've been through that the world needs to know about, how they made it, what was the thing that kept them going, just inspiration and motivation. There's so much of that in all of us. So I really appreciate that you do what you do to bring that out and help women find that voice and give them a place to share what they have with the world. So thank you so much for that. So as we think about collaborative books, what would you say is what makes collaborative books a powerful platform for sharing with others?
Well, there's so many things that are wonderful about doing this anthology, compilation, collaborative book, so many words for it. A few of the things that I love the most, for one thing, when we look at doing a solo book, for a lot of people, it is daunting. It's just overwhelming. It's a lot. Whereas working in a collaborative book, you only write one chapter and you're working with a team. So you're with a group who are focused on a similar theme. And for all of my books, the community of women who have come together in that book have really created new relationships, new friendships, new collaborations, just from working together on this project. And then when you look at it also from the point of view of the time and the money related to publishing a book, being in a collaborative book is a fraction of the time and the money. So when you combine all the expanding your network, building visibility, becoming a published author, not to mention the fact that becoming an international bestseller is easier when there's 20 of you all promoting the same project.
Yeah. Wow. So there is a cost associated with it, but when you compare that against what it would be if you did it, try to do it on your own, it's much less, and it's a smaller project. I say project in air quotes.
I call them a project as well because they are.
Okay. Because you're working with other women who are doing the same thing. Almost like when you're in college and you have to work on a paper together.
Equally, unlike most
Yeah,
college projects where there's one person that does it all.
right. And I remember those days.
Exactly.
So, Cathy, what inspired you to start Inspired Tenacity and focus on empowering women through authorship?
Well, it's been kind of a journey of about 14 years now. And there's a time in my life around 2010 when I realized that there was other things I was supposed to be doing. And at that time, I was working in medical genetics. I'd been doing that for about 25 years. And I just knew there was something bigger that I was supposed to be focusing my energy on. And so I really set myself on figuring out what that was. And I
Wow.
knew that I wanted to do something that really focused on women and created a true impact in the lives of those women. And it took me a few years of really kind of trying different things and figuring out, is this my thing? Is this my thing? And the books have really become where I feel that it is the right place. I feel that I am creating a true impact in these women's lives. I'm helping them completely shift how they're doing things in their life and the opportunities that they have. And it was about 3 years ago that I decided to leave my job behind and set out on my own to figure out what this was. And that's when I created Inspired Tenacity, with really just that goal of really impacting women's lives around the world.
Wow, that is so fantastic. But medical genetics is nothing to be ashamed of or anything. I mean, that seems like a pretty important job itself. Go that route as well, because people always want to know where they're from. I mean, is that what the medical genetics is about? It's like a 23andMe kind of thing.
Yes, 23andMe kind of came from that. So back when I was working in medical genetics, when I first started, it was very much more basic than it is now. And since then, this whole world of genomics has opened up. And that's when 23andMe was able to come in, was when the technology got to that point. But yes, that is the world.
Yeah, it is, because everyone wants to know, who am I? Where am I from? Why is my hair brown and my sister's hair is blonde? You know what I mean? Something ain't right. No, I'm just joking.
Genetics is an amazing thing.
I know. I think that's so fascinating, honestly. But then to go from that, I love that you did that introspection to find out exactly, who am I? And what am I here on this earth for? What is my purpose? And what way can I have a bigger impact and leave my mark on this earth? I just love that you had the time and opportunity to do that. And I know that these women are as well, because it's through your guidance and your coaching that they're able to put to pen to paper to get all these things out of them that may have been inside them for so long, that need to come out and bless somebody else. Because they say that no pain is for naught, meaning everything serves a purpose. No matter what we're going through in our life, it is to either test us or to strengthen us or to be a testimony for somebody else, serve as a witness that they too can make it through whatever it is that they're going through.
Exactly.
Our pain could be or it could be our joy or our, amazing achievement. Could be just the exact same thing that someone else needs to hear for them to believe in themselves, that they can really do it. They truly can. Because if this person can do it, surely they can do it. Does that make sense?
Exactly. And to me, that is such a huge part of the value of the books as well. That I think, especially as women, I think we really learn a lot from each other's stories. And we do find that inspiration and that motivation and that strength by, like you say, you read a story from another woman and what she's come through and how she did it. And you think, wow, I can do that too. Or if she can do that, then maybe I can do this.
Mhm.
So I think just that inspiration and the motivation that comes from hearing each other's stories is massive.
Yes, absolutely. And so how do you do that? How do you get the women to go from an idea to becoming best-selling authors? I mean, what does that process look like?
Yeah. So with my projects, I basically come up with a title and a theme, always focused on things that I feel that women are inspired to read about and write about. And then I start putting it out into all of my different communities and just letting people know what I'm up to. I've really adopted kind of that drawing people to me kind of sales rather than the out there hunting for people, but more of a here's what I'm up to. If you're interested, let me know. And I really find that the people who are the right fit are drawn to
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
That it almost is like a calling of, yes, that's my book. I need to be in that book.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of how my kind of marketing works. And so yes, so basically the ones that choose to join us, I work directly with them as much as they feel they need to really flesh out what is that story they want to be sharing in this book. And again, every book's got a different theme. So really you can be like me and just do a whole bunch based on different themes in your life. And so I find that some women are very comfortable writing and writing about themselves. So they'll kind of just go off without much really support and get their
Mhm.
chapters done. Then we do some back and forth review. And
Mhm.
others haven't done a lot of that. So they need more encouragement and just kind of talking through things. So we'll get together on a Zoom call and we'll, really go through what their story has been, what they see as their kind of turning points in those big events in their life. And then together we kind of, help develop what that focus can be, what that direction of the chapter could be. So I really find leaving my calendar open to the authors to use as they see fit,
Mhm.
it has worked the best for me.
Wow. Well, that is so great. And as I'm hearing you talk about the process and just being there, guiding them, kind of nurturing them, for lack of a better word, to
Yes,
get
that's a
from
good word.
point A to get from point A to point B along this journey. It just feels good. It just feels really good to know that you're not alone in this venture, that there's somebody with a vested
Yes,
interest in you and your
yes.
success. Now, I couldn't help but think about with the advent of artificial intelligence.
Mm,
He said, mm.
mm.
Face, not just but with a face. Tell me how you really feel about artificial intelligence.
Well, there's good and there's bad. And I know a lot of people have learned to use it in a way that they are doing their own writing, but they're just using it to kind of clean it up or just freshen it somehow. And using it like that, I think, is excellent.
Mhm.
Whereas there's the other side who have decided to pretty much use AI completely to write things. And they're just dropping in a theme or a couple of points to cover and just letting it write everything.
Right.
To me, that's not authentic writing. And with my books, so much of it is about that individual's journey, their story, what they've been through, what those experiences were, what they learned from those experiences, and what they want to share with the reader. So to me, it really has to come from the heart. It has to come from you really exposing that on paper and bringing it out. And again, AI's got its purposes. It's got a lot of cool things it can do. I just really encourage people not to just lean on it completely.
Right. Absolutely. Because it's still detectable.
Yes.
When you see something that's AI generated, you're like, ChatGPT did this. This is not this person.
Exactly. And even when we are submitting our chapters to the publishing team, that's one of the questions that has to be answered when you're submitting your chapter. Did you use AI? How much did you use AI? And so from there, we will really review it and decide whether it needs to get shifted a bit or how it is. Because like you say, I'm quite often, if it has been written by AI, you can usually tell right away. And that's definitely not the feeling we want to get as people are reading our books. We want them to get that, to read that chapter and be able to connect with that writer. And to me, that's a huge part of it, because for a lot of us, we're entrepreneurs. So for a lot of us, we are, always promoting what we're doing, looking for people that may be interested in our services. So for me, a big part of it is when someone has read your chapter, they now have a feel for who you are, what you're about, why you do what you do, and what is it that you do. So at the end of the chapter, they actually feel connected to you and they want to learn more.
Right.
And I don't think you'll get that same feeling from something that's just been written by a computer.
Right. Absolutely not. I can promise you that does not happen. Even though, it's getting better. And I think maybe over time it might get even better. But for now, it's still too early, I think, to even consider having artificial intelligence write your story with all of the feeling. Because it's kind of like going to a movie to watch a movie that is based on a book that you read.
And you already know the whole story, and it's like...
Well, but not only do you know the whole story, but what's going on in the mind of the actor. You don't get that in a movie. You only get that in books.
Oh, right. Yes. You got a whole different level of connection with it.
Yes, absolutely. So that's kind of the way I equate this whole
right.
AI.
Well, and another side of it too is for a lot of the women who write in my books, part of the feedback that I often get after they're finished was the emotional side of writing. It's almost therapeutic in a way. It's like a purging or a releasing of something, which to me is really a big part of writing, is that emotional part in yourself that comes through that. And you definitely would not get that from just inputting a bunch of things into the computer and letting it do all the work.
Absolutely. And that definitely resonates with me, because when I decided to go back to school to get my degree, one of the first classes was for English credit. We got to spend the first 10 minutes or 10 or 15 minutes of every class just journaling, just writing about whatever was on our mind, whatever was on our heart, whatever we were thinking about, whatever, just dumping from your mind and thoughts onto paper. And by the time those 15 minutes were over, number one, I wasn't done writing. So I needed more time. But it was very therapeutic. I could now get all of that out of my head and focus on what the instructor had to say.
That's a good point. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I was like, gosh, I really forgot how much I love to write. It's pretty funny. So, Cathy, as we're talking about the business of authorship, what would you say authors need to know about turning their writing into successful business?
I often would say look at writing as a way of amplifying your other work. So look at it as a way of building visibility, lifting credibility and authority, and really becoming that calling card of your business. So I find for a lot of people right now, I would say it's almost become essential that you are an author at some level as an entrepreneur. I would say in many cases when people are comparing, like say they're shopping for a coach or somebody that would help them with a specific thing, people often are comparing you with other people. And these days, I would say if one person has that they are a published author, or especially if they're a best-selling author or an international best-selling author, when people are comparing those different people, I think that definitely puts you in a different category. For another thing that it really helps with is for entrepreneurs who are looking at getting into more speaking. So speaking opportunities and that sort of thing definitely stem from having a book that you can promote, a way of getting that visibility out there. And going back to the fact with these anthology projects, the collaborative books, when you've got 20 people, imagine when we're at marketing time near the book launch, you've got 20 people all promoting the same thing. But then you've also got all those 20 people connecting, sharing, liking each other's posts. So just the activity that you're getting, building your visibility through the promotion of the book is a massive thing.
Right. That part. Because if you were to write your own book, all you have is yourself.
Yeah.
And maybe your friends and maybe your mom and dad to like and share and subscribe and order the book, that kind of thing. But like you said, what a great strategy for getting out there and really having something at your fingertips that lends credibility, gives you gives everyone else the impression that you are a credible source. You know what you're talking about because, of course, you have to, because you wrote a book. Right?
Exactly. And I find for a lot of women too, after being in one of these collaborative books, it gives them that confidence that, hey, I can do this. I can write something that people want to read. And quite often they will then go on and do a solo book. But I see these ones really as a stepping stone almost. It's a great way to get that momentum because they say that about 92% of people have it on their bucket list that they're going to become a published author sometime in their life. But only about 5% of people ever do. Wow. And I think a big part of that gap is that not knowing where to get started for one thing, but the imposter syndrome of you're not an author. Who are you to think that people even care what you have to say or will ever read your book or want to buy it? So that those messages that you'll just keep bugging you in your head. Once you have published a book, you've got your book in your hand, you've got a whole community of people cheering you on because of your book. Now it just brings that whole different level of confidence and that feeling of, yes, I can do this. And now I can do it on a bigger scale.
Right. I love that. I love it because it is a catalyst. Once you know that you can do something, then it's like, I'm unstoppable.
Yes.
There's nothing I can't do.
Yeah. And even going back to my bio in that part around helping women step into new possibilities. Yeah. To me, the book is a door opener for that as well. And like you're saying, that whole feeling around if I can do this, I can do that. Yes. Or I can do this. What else can I do? What is next?
Right. Absolutely. And that resonates with me when I was working on my degree. I first started out with a certification to be a certified administrative professional, which to take that exam to be a certified administrative professional was like getting your associate's degree by the time you were done studying for that exam. It's proctored and everything. It's like a big deal. And it's really hard. I don't think many people realize how hard that exam is. But anyways, once I was able to accomplish that and got my certification after the first try, where, some other people were taking it 2 and 3 times to get the certification, I felt so empowered. I felt so strong. Like I just said, I truly felt unstoppable. And I was like, well, since I'm already in this habit of studying, why don't I just go on and get my degree? And so I did. And I ended up graduating from college, even though I was an adult, but still I went back and I did it. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. So I definitely get it and can totally see how being a part of an anthology is definitely a catalyst or a kicking off point for doing your own book and being an author, not just of 1, but of 2, maybe 3 or 17. Exactly. So then, Cathy, what advice do you have for aspiring authors? So what advice do you have if they're even thinking about it, or if this has been, like you said, it's on the bucket list of 92% of the people? How can they actually get off the bucket and start doing something?
Well, like so many things, I think one of the first thing is talking to other people who have done it. And to me, another big part is really clarifying for yourself what your goal is with whatever it is you want to write. For some people, it's more of they just want to get their story onto paper to share with their family. For other people, it is really important that they are, hitting the bestseller and award-winning status. And so first, really clarifying what is your goal with your book. And then the other part is, I would say, really understanding the different options that there are for publishing. Before, there used to only be the option of the traditional publishing groups where you literally have to beg your way in and they have to accept you and then you have to do it their way and all these other things. Whereas now we have a lot of options on how you can get published. So there is still the big publishing guys that you can go talk to them. There is the option of self-publishing. But then in the middle, there's a whole group of different types of publishing. We call most of them hybrid publishing. So it's kind of a combination of some of it's things you're doing and some of it's things that someone else who's an expert at those things does and getting it out there. So that's a few of the things that I would do, that talking to people that have done it, figuring out what your goals are, and then figuring out which one of those options would actually work best for you.
Wow. Okay. What great advice. Great. I mean, and so it seems so doable. You make it sound so easy.
It is. And so many people are just scared away because they think that it's so daunting and massive and they just can't do it. But yes, you can.
Yes, absolutely. We can do, my mom used to say to me, you can do anything you put your mind to. And I believed her.
Good. And here you are.
And here I am. But no, and I think it's just so important to surround yourself with that community of people who believe in you, lift you, encourage you, tell you you can do this. I used to facilitate a small group of women's Bible study. And we would meet every week and talk about the Sunday sermon or whatever, but just do life together, just doing life and sharing what's going on. And one just saying to the other, you got this, hang in there, everything's going to be okay. And it was just life-giving, life-giving.
And life-changing. And life-changing.
Yes.
And one of the things I always encourage too when it comes to community is, don't expect your immediate family and friends to be the ones cheering you on when you're trying to do something completely new, whether it's writing a book or starting a business, changing your career. Quite often our immediate family and friends are the ones that, they're trying to keep us safe. And so they'll be the first to say, oh, just calm down. Oh, this will pass. Just keep doing what you're doing. You'll get over this. Wow. Whereas, the bigger community, like you say, other women who are doing new things, who are encouraging you to do something completely different, they're the ones that will be supporting you and they're beside you. And even if they're doing something very different, just the idea that you are stepping into something new and different for you, find that community that stands behind you for that.
Yes, 100%. Could not agree more. Community is critical. It is absolutely critical. So, Cathy, I see we're getting short on time here, and I definitely want to give our audience an opportunity to learn more about you. Can you tell us how to reach you and maybe share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. My website is just inspiredtenacity.com. And on there, you'll find different information. You'll see here along the top. So my books is a list of books that are already published. And a lot of them you can click right on there and either find a download to the book, or you can go directly to Amazon if you're looking for the book. Book projects will take you to my current books. So if you're getting this inkling that, yes, maybe that's a good idea for you, then just come on over here. And here we've got a list of my current projects. So Midlife Reimagined, 20 Shades of Grief, Women in STEAM, Inspired Metamorphosis. These are the ones that are now available for you to step into. Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities. We've closed the door now, unless you're a really fast writer and you can get a chapter done within the next week. And Leadership Unveiled. That one is now closed as well. The Evolution of Leadership in STEM. That one is the one that just launched this week. We hit international bestseller, #1 in 4 countries so far. So that's exciting. And here the Grit and Tenacity book is launching next week. So by the time this goes live, it will be out there too. And we'll be able to tell you how successful we were with that one too. So
wow, that is impressive. And what great collaborations to be a part of. Oh my gosh. I love the one Midlife Reimagined, making big changes at any age.
Join us.
Continue to advance, in the years, it's like, oh my word. It's like, how many do I have left? I got to make them all count. Every last one.
That's right. Yeah. We've got all this experience and wisdom. Now is the time to use it, right?
Yeah, for sure. 100%. So I love that. I'm so excited for you for these books and these opportunities. And definitely, and if anyone in our audience is even thinking about, if you're one of the 92%, become part of the 5% that actually make it happen, reach out to Cathy Derksen. So Cathy, if there was one thing I should have asked you and I didn't ask you, what would that have been?
Let's see. I think we went through quite a few different topics. So I'm not sure there's anything that we didn't cover. I guess the one thing I forgot to mention, LinkedIn is my main social media. So if you're looking for my active and up-to-date things, LinkedIn is definitely where you'll find them. I am on Facebook and Instagram as well, but not quite as actively. So LinkedIn is definitely the place to catch up with everything that's going on.
Excellent. Excellent. And these are great looking pages too. I love the purple color and the calming of your website. And it's very, very nice and very appealing. Great job. It looks amazing. Fantastic.
But one thing I'll point out quickly on that website there, one of the other tabs is gifts for you. So if you go there, you can get downloads of my previous books for free.
Oh, free gifts. We love free gifts.
Free books right there. The gifts for you.
I
I've got
love
to update that with my latest books.
I love it. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, we have readers in our families, readers all over. So these are awesome, awesome, awesome gifts. How generous. That is fantastic. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right. Well, Cathy, I think that's going to wrap it up for us this week. Remember, you were made for something great, so go and be awesome.